50. Nature follows confused feelings through lust and desire. Faint spirit and moved mind meet a demon chief. The poem says, "Sweep often the grounds of the mind. Wipe clean the dust of affections. Let not the pit ensnare your Buddha self. Only when essential self's clean, may you your primal source convene. You must lift and trim nature's wick, to breathe thus freely at Tao Shi. Keep the horse and the ape from sounding harsh. Through night and day a breath serene will let all your technique be seen." The tune of this lyric poem is called A Southern Branch. It is meant to describe the Tang monk and how he escaped from his ordeal of ice in the heaven-reaching river, and how he ascended the other shore by standing on the white turtle. Master and the disciples, the four of them, followed the main road and set out again toward the west. It was the time of midwinter, and they saw faint outlines of woodlands in the mists, clear frames of bare mountains in the stream. As Master and disciples walked along, they again came upon a huge mountain blocking their way. The road turned exceedingly narrow, and the cliffs were tall. Moreover, there were many rocks, and the ridges were so steep that it would be difficult for humans or horses to proceed. Reining in his horse, Tripitaka called out, "Disciples!" Pilgrim led Zhu 8 rules and Sha monk forward, saying, "Master, what do you have to say? Look how tall the mountain is ahead of us." Said Tripitaka, "I fear that tigers and wolves might run rampant up there, or strange beasts might come out to attack us. Be careful." "Please do not worry, Master," said Pilgrim. "We 3 brothers are united in a single effort to embrace the right and seek the real. We will exercise our power to disperse monsters and subdue fiends. You needn't be afraid of any tigers or wolves." On hearing his words, Tripitaka felt more assured and urged his horse forward to ascend the cliff. As they did so, they glanced around and saw that it was quite a mountain indeed. Rugged and soaring. Pointed and towering. Rugged and soaring it rises to the sky. Pointed and towering it blocks the blue heavens. Strange rocks piled high like tigers sitting. Hoary pines aslant like dragons flying. Atop the peak a bird sings a pretty song. Before the cliff the plums waft a strong, sweet scent. The brook swells and surges, its water cold. The clouds assail the summit, dense and dark. You also feel the drifting snow, the biting wind, and the mountain's roaring, famished tiger. Jackdaws pick through the trees but find no nest. Wild deer search in vain for a place to rest. Pity the travelers who can hardly walk. Crestfallen, downcast, they cover their heads. Master and disciples, the 4 of them, braved the snow and cold to scale, shivering, the rugged peak. After they passed it, they saw in the distance a towered building in the fold of the mountain, and some charming buildings nearby. Delighted, the Tang monk said on his horse, "O disciples, I feel so cold and hungry today. It's a good thing that there are in the fold of the mountain that building and the houses. It has to be either a village, a mansion, an abbey, or a monastery. Let's go and beg for some food. We can move on after we have a meal." When Pilgrim heard this, he opened wide his eyes to look and saw that the place was shrouded with baleful clouds and diabolical air. "Master," he turned to speak to the Tang monk, "that's not a good place. There are buildings and houses." Said Tripitaka, "Why isn't it a good place?" "Oh Master," said Pilgrim with a snicker, "how could you know? There are plenty of monsters and demons on the way to the west, and they are most capable of devising some form of houses or dwellings. It doesn't matter whether it is a towered building or a pavilion or some such edifice. Any one of these can be merely a transformation to deceive people. You have heard of the saying that a dragon can beget 9 kinds of offspring. One of them is the giant clam. The breath this creature emits is luminous and takes on the appearance of buildings and houses. When a big river is caught in inclement weather, that's when the giant clam produces such a mirage. If some birds or crows happen to fly by and decide to rest their wings on these specious buildings, the clam will swallow them with one gulp. It's a vicious trap. When I see how baleful the aura is over there, I must tell you not to approach it. So we can't go over there," said Tripitaka. "But I'm really hungry." "If you are, master, please dismount," said Pilgrim. "Sit here on level ground and let me go somewhere to beg some vegetarian food for you to eat." Tripitaka consented and dismounted. After 8 Rules took hold of the reins, Shamunk put down the luggage and untied the wrap to take out the alms bowl to hand over to Pilgrim. Taking it in his hand, Pilgrim gave this instruction to Shamunk. "Worthy brother, don't go forward. Just stand guard over master sitting here. Wait until I come back with the food and we can then set out again to the west." Shamunk obeyed, and Pilgrim said once more to Tripitaka, "Master, that place in front of us betokens more evil than good. Don't ever leave here and go elsewhere. Old Monkey is off to beg for food. Don't talk anymore," said the Tang monk. "Just go quickly and come back. I'll wait for you here." Pilgrim turned and was about to leave, but he walked back again to say, "Master, I realize you can't sit still for very long. Let me provide you with some means of safety." He took out his golden hooped rod and drew on the level ground a large circle. The Tang monk was asked to sit in its middle, while 8 Rules and Shamunk stood by either side of him. The horse and the luggage, too, were placed near them. Then Pilgrim pressed his palms together to bow to the Tang monk, saying, "The circle drawn by Old Monkey here is as strong as an iron wall. No matter what they are, tigers, wolves, ogres, or demons, they will not dare come near you. But you must not step out of the circle. Remain seated inside and no harm will come to you. But if you leave the circle, you will in all likelihood meet with danger. Please take heed of my words. Please take heed of my words." Tripitaka agreed, and all 3 of them sat down solemnly in the circle. Mounting the clouds, Pilgrim went south to search for a place to beg for food. Suddenly he saw some tall, aged trees, near which was a village. He lowered his cloud and took a careful look. He saw snow abusing weak willows, and ice frozen in the square pond. Sparse bamboos waving their blue. Dense pine trees holding their green. A few thatched huts half-decked with silver. A small, slanted bridge powder-dusted. Half-bloomed narcissus by the fence. Long icicles dangling beneath the eaves. The piercing cold wind wafted a rare scent. But snow hid the place where plum flowers bloomed. As Pilgrim admired the scenery of the village, he heard one of the wooden gates open with a creak, and out walked an old man, who wore a lamb's wool hat, a long robe full of holes, and a pair of grass sandals. Supporting himself with a staff, he looked up to the sky and said, "Ah, the northwest wind is rising. It'll be fair tomorrow." Hardly had he finished speaking when a Pekingese ran out from behind him and barked furiously at Pilgrim. Only then did the old man turn around. Pilgrim stood before him holding the alms bowl and bowed, saying, "Old benefactor, this priest happens to be someone sent by imperial decree of the great Tang in the land of the East to the Western Heaven to seek scriptures from Buddha. We are passing through your region and my master is hungry. I have come to your honorable residence to beg you for some vegetarian food." When the old man heard this, he shook his head and struck the ground several times with his staff, saying, "Elder, you shouldn't beg for food just yet, for you have taken the wrong road." "I have not," said Pilgrim. The old man said, "The main road to the Western Heaven is due north of here, over 1,000 miles away. You should go and find that road at once." Pilgrim laughed and said, "Yes, it is due north of here, and my master right now is sitting beside that road, and waiting for me to beg for food." "This monk is babbling," said the old man. "If your master is indeed waiting at the main road for you to beg for food, a distance of 1,000 miles will require 6 or 7 days of traveling one way, even if you happen to be an exceptionally adroit traveler. When you go back to him, it will take another week or so. By then, he would be long starved to death, wouldn't he? Pilgrim laughed again and said, "To tell you the truth, old benefactor, I left my master not long ago, and it took me no more than the time of drinking a cup of tea to get to this place. Once I succeed in begging some food, I shall rush back to serve it to him for lunch." On hearing this, the old man became terribly frightened, thinking to himself, "This priest is a ghost. A ghost." He turned around and began to dash inside. Pilgrim made a grab at him and said, "Benefactor, where are you going? If you have some food, donate it to us." "It's not convenient. It's not convenient," said the old man. "Go to some other family." "Benefactor," said Pilgrim, "you aren't very considerate. As you said, this place is over 1,000 miles away from the main road. If I go to another family, it may take another 1,000 miles. Wouldn't my master be really starved to death then?" "To tell you the truth," said the old man, "there are altogether 6 or 7 people in my family, and we have just washed and placed 3 pints of rice in the cauldron. It's not even fully cooked yet. Please go somewhere else to look for your food." Pilgrim said, "As the ancients said, walking to 3 other houses is not like sitting in one. This humble priest will sit here and wait." When the old man saw how persistent Pilgrim was, he became angry. Lifting his staff, he struck out at Pilgrim.